All right. Hey, everybody. Welcome to the first Homeschool Moms group. And we are going to get started today just by introducing ourselves. But I'm Jolene Fisher. I'm the women's ministry lead here. And I just felt it very important to get you guys connected and to not only connect you guys and help you create community within this space, but to understand how we can minister as a church better to you, because I feel like there's a gap in, like Danica, for instance, has been a leader in Wednesday Women's Bible Study and has had to maybe potentially even step out of that role because at the age of 6, the kids age out of the childcare situation, and it makes it frustrating for you guys to be involved in the ministry opportunities that you want to be involved in. And so we want to create solutions for you. You don't want to have obstacles. And so we need to know how to do that. Number one, that's what I want to get to the bottom of today a little bit. But I just want to create a forum and a space for you guys to not only know each other, but to communicate and to have this, like going forward, a group to then meet with, provide services for each other, and whatever you want it to look like. This is not my thing. I'm just the inside person who can be your voice for whatever you guys need. And maybe we can make it happen, maybe we can't, but I just want to make sure you know you have me on your side as an advocate to help you, because sometimes you don't know where to start. Well, I can be that point person for you. And if an event comes up that you guys want to put on, we can put it through women's ministry. So we just need to put our heads together and think about what you need and what you want. So let's go ahead and get started. We have Ashley online. I don't know, Ashley, if you can come off of mute and introduce yourself. Hi. What I need to introduce is not only your name, but we have one person joining. So we have name, what your kids' are, okay. And then Danica, what else do we have on there? Yeah. How many years you've been doing homeschooling?
And your biggest pain point as it relates to church. And if not really in church, then your biggest pain point. Not to be negative, but just to start the conversation about.
Yep. Did you hear that, Ashley?
I heard half of it. I'll stop right here. We're walking into Silverwood. That's why I don't want to go through that tunnel with you guys. So I'll say what I heard, and then you guys can tell me what I'm missing. So my name is Ashley Arthur. I'll tell you, we've been at Valley Real Life for about 5.5 years, and we've been homeschooling about 1.5 years. We started right when COVID happened, but it just coincided with COVID because my son was going into kindergarten that year. So, and we'd been discussing homeschool before that, and my husband's been homeschooled and his mom helps quite a bit with that. So that kind of just pushed us to make the leap for homeschool then. And my son is now 7. That's who we homeschool. My daughter's 5. She'll start kindergarten this fall. And then we have a 2-year-old.
Great. And then just what are your pain points within the ministry opportunities here at Valley Real Life? Is there anything that could be done for you to help?
Pain, you said pain points, P-A-I-N?
Pain point.
Your biggest pain point here with regard to getting involved, maybe.
With regard to getting involved in general?
Yeah, with being a homeschool mom, are there any pain points for you with regards to getting involved in ministry?
Not that I can think of. I think that this is a great start, and this would have been nice years ago, but I don't know that I wouldn't consider it a pain point. I love this, and I guess my internal pain point is always feeling like I'm not doing enough or that I cannot continue to do this. And I do truly think that's the enemy, because I know that I can do this, but to have just accountability in other moms and knowing I can do that at VRL would, I think, lessen that in me a lot, because I don't really follow a curriculum right now. I don't know that I want to, because I also work part-time. So it's all overwhelming for me. And that would be, I don't know that that's a VRL pain point. I think that's an internal pain point.
Yeah. Hey, Brenda, what was your question or your thought on another question we should ask?
Okay. And what are you most passionate about too in homeschooling? You know,
what are you most passionate about in homeschooling?
Like the reason I want to?
Yes.
A lot of it is I want to spend as much time with my kids as possible and know what they're learning. And also, I'm not thrilled with the way public school for sure is going. And I like the variety, and then I can be more active in teaching my kids. They can go outside, they can do more real life learning versus sitting in school for 6 hours, where a lot of that is based on how other kids or themselves are behaving that day. Does that make sense? I'd rather not have them sit for 6 hours in a classroom when they can learn for a little bit and then explore and learn in real life and outside.
Thank you, Ashley.
Yeah, thank you guys. I'm gonna go dark, but I'm here.
Okay, sounds good. All right, we have, maybe it's Scott or it's Scott's wife on the phone, but I just see the name Scott Kramer.
Yeah, I don't have a Kramer on the list.
Okay, could be
Who are you? Reveal yourself.
Okay, well.
Scott's in on the meeting, man.
All right, we don't know who Scott is. If you can hear us, I'm imagining, okay, we're gonna move on. All right, Krista.
My name is Krista. Let's see here. I used to teach high school anatomy and physiology. And when I had my daughter who just turned 7, my husband and I decided that we wanted to go the homeschool route. So we kind of made that choice about 7 years ago, but didn't start until, a couple of years ago when she actually really started.
So
doing
one
things.
daughter, 7?
7-year-old daughter. I have a son who's about to turn 6, and we just adopted a daughter from Africa who is 3. She's about to turn 4.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Yes. So the 3 of them, I've been going to VRL for about a year and a half-ish when we moved here. So we used to live in Colorado.
Okay.
And I think the biggest maybe pain point would be, I haven't done it here at VRL, but at our previous church, I was part of a Wednesday morning sort of thing that sounds very, very similar to what you guys have here. And the issue is my daughter just turned 7. And so
Yeah.
You can't
I cannot participate anymore. And I definitely really miss that. And I would love to figure out a way to kind of make that work for, me or perhaps other, people who would like to do that. So have some ideas, but I don't know.
I love it.
Anyway, so yeah, that's probably the biggest pain point.
And I'm sorry, how many years have you been homeschooling?
Probably 3 maybe now. Yeah. Like officially, I guess, perhaps.
Okay.
Unofficially, we kind of, been
Yeah.
doing things, but, and let's see here.
Passionate. What are you most passionate?
Passionate. Oh, yes. So I used to teach, and I loved it, but I just I felt like I couldn't connect with as many students as I wanted to connect with. And there were people that I just wanted to focus on that I couldn't focus on because I didn't have time, because I needed to focus on this student. And I just felt like there were so many gaps missing. And that kind of really just broke my heart. And I didn't want that for my kids. And I love learning alongside of them. And it's probably the hardest thing I've ever done. It really makes me look at myself and be like, wow, I have a lot of sin in my life, and now my children are sinning. And so just to look, it's a struggle, but I think it's worth it to try and be more like Jesus. And so anyways, yeah, I'm just passionate about learning, growing together, and facilitating, a relationship with my kids where we can grow together, learn together, struggle together. So
Thank you.
Someone else in the waiting room, waiting.
Oh, thank you. Okay. Hello, if you're just joining us online, I see the name Liam and Sean Garrett. You want to say hi?
It's me, Jolene. It's Megan. We just have
Oh,
that
Megan.
for the boys do karate online. So
All right. Hi,
I'll
Megan.
rename it.
Hi.
Hi.
Well, we were starting with the online folks doing their introductions. We'll come back to you, but we're going around the table now, so we're just doing introductions. So
Perfect. Sorry to be late. I had to get out of the pool to join you. So
Okay. Kimberly's next.
Hi, I'm Kimberly. I've been doing homeschooling for 3 years now, and I have a 7-year-old, a 6-year-old, and a 4.5-year-old. And my biggest pain point was probably not being able to participate in the Wednesday morning group anymore. I
Yeah.
participated 2 years ago,
Yeah.
and then I was approached to maybe consider leadership because I had done leadership with BSF before, and I had to turn that down. So that was kind of a bummer because I thought God was opening a door there. And then my biggest passion is kind of redeeming my own education while I'm learning with my kids. It's really fun to relearn some things that I've forgotten. And I worked in the public school system as well. I was a school psychologist, and you know, I just wasn't very fond of their curriculum. So I like choosing my own.
Thank you.
I'm
You wanna go
Danica.
next?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. I'm not usually the note taker, but I am this morning by default.
I put the
so-
list in front of her and off she went.
Yes. I have a 7-year-old, a 6-year-old, excuse me, a 5-year-old, and a 3-year-old. And we've been homeschooling for like 3 months.
Welcome.
Thank you. It is the hardest thing I've ever done in my life. And I was that person that was like, rock on, you do that, not for me. And the Lord's like, really? Are you sure about that? So there's a story there. I'm sure we all have the story. And my biggest pain point is the lack of church support. Like the fact that women can't attend Bible study because we don't have the support grieves me greatly. And so grateful that I was able to go to you and say, I don't know what to do. And I'm like, because it's not your issue until it becomes your issue. And then all of a sudden you realize like, oh, none of these women can do this because we don't have the infrastructure for it. Well, I'm just gonna keep crying. So I'm really grateful that we're meeting, and I'm grateful to be heard, and I'm grateful to see faces, and I'm grateful. I'm so filled with gratitude. So that's my pain point. I think what I'm most passionate about is well, I don't know about most, but is redeeming. It is redeeming my education. And I love being around them. Like I remember sending them off to like Wyatt, my 7-year-old, to first grade. And I'm like, is this it? Like I get rushed breakfast mornings that are chaotic and messy. And then I get the leftovers of you at the end of the day when you're so crabby and I can tell you're just done, you know, like, and then you go to college in 10 years. Like so I don't know. It's interesting. We're processing through that, but I feel so grateful now that I get to be with him, you know, and some days I have to be with him. So, so anyway, yeah, I think I'm passionate about that. So anyway, yeah.
Thank you.
I'm Brenda Dillon, and I have 4 kids who are 11, 9, 6, and 4. And we've been homeschooling the whole time. So 5 years officially, plus all the preschool stuff we did. And so, and I grew up homeschooling. So it was really fun. Like I didn't have any of the hesitations about, can we do this? Because my mom did it. And I'm like, oh yeah, this is just a fun option. And I definitely am one of those people that, I can't do something just because it drove my parents crazy. I was always like, why do we believe this? What about this? Why are we doing it this way? Could we do it better? And so with schooling, I guess my biggest pain point is seeing people do things just because they don't know there's another option, or not thinking through the why. What is education? Why are we doing it? How could we do it best? And so because again, I can't. I have to think, how can we do this better? How could we? What could it be? And I'm a big dreamer, so just wow, it could be going out on hikes and being outside in nature, and the whole family could go and do this together. It doesn't have to be divided up into grade levels and everyone going separately. And so I just get really excited about bringing families together and doing things in a new and unique way, and providing resources to the community too. I just get really passionate about, we can, not only, I mean, because not only can I do this differently with my kids and do something completely different, but then, yeah, the more people do that and catch the vision and get excited, and then we can, why are we saying, how can we copy the schools? Like the school should be looking to us saying, wow, look at how the church and Christians are doing education. How can we imitate that?
Also, I think it's important, I mean, I liked hearing that you're a former educator. We're all educators, but I mean, like, you have the schooling part too.
Yeah, I was a high school English teacher, so I'm also really passionate about literature. I'm like books, all the books. Yeah.
Awesome. Thanks, Brenda.
I'm Amanda. I have a almost 9-year-old boy, and my youngest is going to be 7 in the fall. I've been homeschooling them since preschool. Former educator, elementary school. So I did that for a couple of years, and then I was never homeschooled. I wish I was. I think I would have been a great candidate for that. But I first came into contact with homeschooling with one of my younger brothers. He's 15, and so, or no, now he's 18. Sorry. He started. My mom started from birth and did the preschool, and I never knew that there was a homeschooling option until she did that. So for us, it was being in the classroom. I didn't want Hudson to go through that because he had some anxiety issues and sensory issues. I'm like, he's going to get lost in that, and I didn't want that for him. So we made the decision to homeschool, and I love it. I'm passionate about reading. I love books, literature, and I love curriculum. I could talk for hours about different curriculum. And I also have a heart too for like helping new moms who are like lost or going from public school or even private school to homeschooling, and like helping them understand that it doesn't have to look like that, because sometimes I struggle with that. Oh, we have to do this and have to do that, and just breaking from that mold. So helping moms to realize like it doesn't have to look like a classroom, and that's what I'm most passionate about. And then for pain points, I don't really have like a pain point with church, but I've always envisioned like going to a church. Like I've been part of co-ops that are their own, but I wondered, what does a co-op look like where I go to church at, and like where all the moms go to church there, and like, I don't know, that's always been like my dream, like having a co-op at the church that I fellowship at. So, yeah. Yeah.
Sorry, I gotta start talking my throat. I'm Jamie. I too am a former high school teacher. I taught math and culinary.
Oh, wow.
So-
Teachers.
I can teach you guys all whatever you cooking wise. This is my passion. I have a 12-year-old son and I have a 10-year-old daughter, and we've been homeschooling for about 3 years. And a lot like all of you, it killed me every day putting my son who had anxiety on the bus crying because he hated going there.
Yeah.
Like, and then get calls from the school saying, you know, he's being picked on, or this is happening, and all these things, and it would kill me. And I was like, no, you know what, we're done. So against everything, we decided to homeschool. My homeschool bestie recently just moved away, along with my kids' besties. And so we are like a boat alone currently. We do go to co-op, but we haven't found our person at co-op yet. So I was excited when I saw this on Mother's Day, the homeschool thing. Because I told my husband, because I came to the Wednesday group, but like I just didn't feel like my kids were at home. I was getting messages about them doing their school by themselves, and they were, things, because they're a little older, because they're like capable of doing things alone. But I was just like, I just didn't really feel connected at the Wednesday morning groups, because I had other, and I couldn't fully invest myself because I was worried about what was happening at my house with my kids home alone, doing their own thing. So I kept thinking to myself, there has to be other homeschool moms at the church. Like, I just don't know them. I just don't know them. There has to be somebody else besides just me. So I am glad that this is happening. So I am passionate about, I'm a homesteader. I want to be a homesteader. That's like my dream. I'm passionate about all things homesteading. I love cooking. I have sourdough going on my counter right now. I can teach you guys all the ways if you want. But that's what I am. And my kids are very much into that too. So.
Well, that sounds like we got quite the,
Yeah.
got like the literature, culinary, all the sex cats with everyone.
There you go.
Isn't God good like
Yeah.
that? Yeah, he knows.
So grateful.
My name is Lauren, and we have been coming to VRL since January, so we're new. We're new to the area, we're new to the church. I have 3 kids, 9, 8, and 18 months. We've been homeschooling off and on, like mostly on, since my son started, well, transitional kindergarten in California.
So how many years is that?
Like we're going on our 4th full year. And I was homeschooled, and that completely intimidated me because I had the rock star homeschool mom. And so I was like, I could never, I'm not that organized. That just isn't me. And the Lord said, yeah, it is. So here we are. I love it. I love spending the time with my kids. It killed me when like our area switched to like full day kindergarten. I was going to have that time with my daughter. And so I was looking at like, okay, my son's going into 1st grade. He's going to be gone all day. And he went from that part-time kindergarten schedule, and now my daughter. And I was like, oh, it just didn't sit right. I didn't have the peace. So we decided to pull him and homeschool him. I love that I'm getting to relearn everything. I feel like there's so many gaps. I am not an educator. Like my background before we were married was more like interior design, and like I'm a real like task-oriented person. And so spending the time with my people is a challenge. Pain point is a community of friends, not just for me, because I feel like I got really connected. I did leave my kids at home. My husband works from home, so I left them and came and did Wednesday. I feel like I've gotten connected with people, but I need good friends for my kids. And I'm had that struggle of like, are you the right influence? I don't know, but they need friends. So so that's my biggest pain point is community for them.
All right, Miss Megan, you're up.
Hello. I really wish I could be there in person today to meet you all and see you all, but I'm in Florida. Vacationing. I know, right? Vacationing for the next week for my husband's birthday. But so I'm Megan. I've been going to VRL for like 8 years now. And my kids started in public school because I own a business. I own a marketing consultancy, and I am an instructor of adult humans. I teach integrated marketing at Whitworth in their MBA program. And I like teaching college people because they talk back to you and they're developed, and you know, and being an at-home mom and for heaven's sake, a homeschool mom was not anything I was ever going to do or wanted to do. But God blessed me with boys who are really smart but struggle with a lot of things. And we never found success in public school. We had a lot of difficulty. And then everything shut down in March of 2020. And it's so funny because I've always been a person who's like, I don't know that the Lord really speaks. Like, I think he speaks to other people, but he's never really spoken to me. And it was the clearest thing he's ever spoken to me was to homeschool our boys. And in the entirety of the pandemic, it was the only thing I had any peace about. And so we just keep bringing it to the Lord, and he keeps directing one more year. We're taking it a year at a time. I have seen my boys really kind of recover from some of the things that they experienced in public school, and are thriving in not in like the public school way, but definitely like they're thriving and things are going better. So for me, I think it's pain point and passion, right, Jolene?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Okay. For me, the biggest pain point, and I think it was one of the women on like the back edge of the table said this. I used to be pretty involved in Wednesday morning Bible study because my kids were in school. And I was coming up and starting to lead in that and really enjoyed it. Yeah. But I can't do that. I have an 11-year-old boy and a 9-year-old boy. So I'm like hearing all the 11 and 9. I'm like, friends. But but I can't be involved in that because if you're a leader, it's a 4-hour commitment, and my kids are old enough to do like an hour or so at home alone, but not 4 hours. And also then that's 4 hours of education that I'm not giving them. So if there were a way for like childcare to be provided or like a study center or something, I definitely think there's a way that Wednesday morning could better serve. I really feel like, and you know me, Jolene, you know, I love it and I'm passionate. It's not a negative, but I really feel like Wednesday morning is for two groups of women, stay-at-home moms who have kids 5 and under, and women who are older and retired.
Yeah.
And I feel like we miss the working mom because I've been that my whole life. I feel like we miss the working mom group and we miss the homeschool mom group. So I think that's a pain point and also a passion for me is if we're going to be a ministry of women, how do we reach more than 10% of the women in our church? And so I think the other passion for me is the same. I think it was Jamie or maybe the woman right after Jamie who said community. Like I'm very, very blessed. I have a really strong group of friends. My husband and I have a really strong group of friends, but my boys, because they struggle making friends, and we try to co-op, and that was a real nightmare experience. I don't know if that would, I mean, I'm open to trying it again, but the one we were in last year was kind of difficult. And so just finding a community for my boys, a place that they can plug in, a place where they can have good friendships, but also kind of that same thought of like, are you the right person for us to be with? Like, what are we being exposed to and what are we sharing? Are we building each other up? Or are we, you know, what influence is in my boys' life? And so I think that's my biggest passion is landing, because I think this homeschool thing is going to stick. I think we're in it for a while. And so like, where are we landing that my boys are finding community?
Yeah. Awesome. Wow. I am just like got the chills today when you guys were talking about your pain points, because I think that we have such huge opportunity here for you guys to step into your giftings in the church too. You're obviously doing that at home, but the fact that you've had to be taken out of the church in terms of leadership or things that you want to serve in because we aren't providing a service to you, that's a disservice hugely, and that's sad. I wonder how many women over all these years have been pulled out or disconnected from their church community because their kids just aged out of the one thing they could get involved in. And so one of the visions for this fall for that Wednesday morning Bible study is to go online with it. And so we're looking at recording the announcements, the devotional, the teaching time, and the access to the video is always in the back of the book. So now Lifeway does that. And most publishers are doing that, which is great, because you used to just have the DVD. And
Right.
if you were a leader, you couldn't, how am I going to share a DVD with you, Danica, if you're leading at home a group? But now we're going to just record everything and have it shared through our YouTube channel. And so anyone wanting to lead a group outside of these walls could do that, because life groups are the lifeblood of VRL. And if you guys become within yourselves your own life group. And we've had 2 leaders already step up. If you guys want to identify yourselves.
Yeah, sure.
Amanda and Krista.
So I reached out to Jolene. You know, we are kind of fresh off of adopting our daughter from Africa, so a little bit chaotic, but I'm definitely super just passionate about this, and so I would love to help facilitate or generate ideas or just really pour into this a little bit more, because I definitely don't want this to be something where it's like, yay, bye. And then that's all. So I would love to keep just forging ahead and, you know, keep going until we can find a groove or a rhythm or a solutions and community and open the doors to more people and things like that. So yeah, I'm just super passionate about it. I don't know how, you know, what the leadership roles or whatever looks like, but I'm just super excited. So.
I think after today, or before we leave today, you guys will probably make a decision on what your next steps are. And in terms of my role is creating that, you know, list. I have a spreadsheet already started. I'll get that to you guys and let you take it from there. But we do need to come up with if there's ever going to be an event or a live group or anything started out of this, I need to know pretty well in advance of what we're going to be doing so I can do the back end work to get that going. Just so you know, if there's an event that is put on by VRL and we're going to sponsor it and advertise it, we have to have 8 weeks lead time.
Okay.
Okay, so just keep that in mind. Anything happens in the fall, it probably needs to be done by, I was just doing the math on this. If late September is already July 2nd, where I need to know by, and then I'll get the information in by end of July. So just be always thinking 8 weeks in advance of any events that we want to do, put through women's ministry. But Amanda, did you want to say anything about that?
Yeah, so I have always wanted to get involved in a homeschooling group with my church. But I didn't know like how. And then when Jolene sent the email, I felt the Lord just kind of pushing me. And it started with Trevor, the children's pastor, calling me about subbing for children's ministry. And then the Lord was speaking there. And then she emailed and was like, I'm looking for volunteers, and the Lord just kind of pushed me, and I sent the email, and that's not normally my personality. I'm mostly like, no, I'm just going to sit in the background. But I know if I just sit in the background, like I will find every excuse not to pour in, and I'll just let somebody else do it. And then I always look back and I look at the fruit of those women who do lead. I'm like, man, that could have been me. And then I'm always left with that regret. So this time I just jumped, and I'm just really excited. And I like that there are a lot of educators because we have that knowledge, and I think we can create some really cool things. So I'm really excited. And the community aspect too. Like I'm the same way. I want my kids to be with friends, but also I need to know what their parents believe in, and like knowing that you guys go here, like we have similar like beliefs within the church and all that. So I totally get that. So
What do you guys see as the next communication like way to communicate? Would that be through email, where everybody sees everybody's emails, Facebook group? Is there better ways to do groups now that I might not know about, where you
I
can
didn't get an
communicate?
email.
You probably didn't sign up for the Mother's Day drawing then.
I did, mine went to spam. I had to check the spam file.
Okay, I'll check my spam.
Did you do the Mother's Day drawing?
I did. I didn't win, apparently.
Here, yeah, well, I'm not sure what happened with that, but we'll make sure she's on our list. Did you put her on our
Yeah,
list?
she's there.
Okay. All right, thank you. What do you guys think? What's the best way to, Megan, maybe you know this, what's the best way to communicate as a group?
Well, I unmuted to pop in and say I did the Mother's Day thing too. And I didn't find out about this. I didn't receive an email, but I did see your Facebook post. So that was, and in just the VRL Moms, Jolene. So that was really helpful. I think, I don't know. I'm kind of a traditionalist. I'm not like super tech savvy, even though I probably should be given my generation in my industry. I like to talk to people. I like face-to-face meetings, as long as they're productive and are more than something that could have been an email. But I think email is good. Like part of the we were part of a co-op, and I was kind of, because again, I always jump in and like to like get into leadership roles. But they did Facebook for all, like a private group for all of their communication, and Facebook Messenger. And it was so overwhelming for me to like follow it because there's no order and there's no like structure. So I think email is good. I think like a text stream, I think for like busy moms who are doing a bunch of stuff and teaching their kids, I think it has to be simple and something that like I can see, but I can come back to. Like in a Facebook group or a Facebook Messenger, like if you don't, like you can lose it in the feed, right? If someone else posted something, or if, you know, there's 5 or 6 comments on Messenger, it's hard to get back to the top. So for me, I think in terms of like doing something that's a little bit more structured, like it sounds like we're hoping this will be, doing something like an email group, like a text group. I think GroupMe works really well for that too. Like if you wanted to do something that wasn't a text message. So I don't know, just off the cuff, Jolene, I think those are things that I think are effective.
Can I pop into Jolene? Ashley here, sorry. I agree with you, Megan. I try not to do as much social media in the way of Instagram and Facebook to be with my kids more, to educate them. I mean, some of you educators or people who have been homeschooling realize it takes a lot of time, like a lot more time than I expected. And we don't even sit down that many hours of the day to do things. So just sitting down inside and then trying to do things outside. I don't try to be on social media or my phone as much, because then it just takes that little precious time I have. So a text or an email, group me, I do, and I know it's a social media technically, but they're not where I can get sucked in other ways. So that's my 2 cents if it's okay with others. I know Facebook is pretty big for a lot of people, but I try to stay away from that if I can.
Yeah, I avoid Facebook too. Has anyone here used Slack? It's just an option. I'm throwing it out. Very easy. It's an app. It's just an option. We don't have to spend time talking about it right now, but it's free and it's an app. And I have it with several different, like I work a paid job too. And so Slack ended up being our communication hub. And what's really cool is like there's channels in it. So like you're in the app and then you have like the baking channel, you have the playdate channel, you have the I need a sub channel, you have the I'm sick channel, you have the next church event channel, you have the community service channel. So we can create these channels within our Slack group. Do you know Slack? Do you use it, Megan?
I do. Yeah. I use it with a lot of my clients. And what I like about it, I'm really, really glad, Dan, that you brought that up, because in Slack, like if we're doing something like planning events or like doing something for the kids and study for the moms, you can do those channels, but you can also do direct message. Like if I just needed to communicate with Amanda or just with Jolene, then I can do just a direct message. But also you can attach photos, you can attach documents, you can put like some to-dos and that sort of thing. So it functions kind of more of like a business Teams platform, but I really like it. And the functionality is very easy.
Yeah, it's very easy. So you guys would have like, I mean, you're all homeschooling moms, so like anything's easy. So there's like a little bit of a learning curve, like, oh, this is how you send a Giphy, or a GIF, if you're in that band camp, whatever. And we communicate with GIFs, but so like there's a little bit of a learning curve, just like this is how you use it. It will not be hard to adopt. And what's really cool is you were talking about losing things with social media, same with email chains. Although I am a fan, sometimes you just need to be able to send a communication. You can also do that in Slack, but a really cool thing is like in the baking channel, I will be like, your Slack name is Jamie Baker, the baker. I don't know. So you mention at Jamie, so you're like, Danica's sending us to the baking channel. We're all in the baking channel. And I'm like, at Jamie. So then all of a sudden you'll get a little notification. If you want, you can control all of what you want to get, either on your phone or whatever. You have the power to say if you want to text or not. Okay. But everyone can see that Danica's sourdough did not raise. And but I'm calling you out. So like you'll get the notice, but for the rest of us, the baking channel will just be, like a little bold, and you'll be like, oh, someone posted in the baking channel, So it's very user friendly. I'm clearly advocating for it, but you may hate it. So, I don't know.
I highly advocate for it as well. I use it for business all the time to communicate with my marketing team, and I love that idea.
I like that you could have separate channels too, so if like you don't want to do the community service for that month or whatever, you can kind of just like not have to worry about that versus, oh, I've got to go through that.
Exactly.
Yeah, you're right, because Facebook, you have to slow,
Exactly.
Right. Or we all direct message each other and we're like, it's Jamie's birthday, and you're not in that direct message, so like, it's very convenient.
It's specifically set aside for your guys' group too, whereas email too, you can get lost in all the emails that come through. And
it's
although
overwhelming.
a search engine is nice in emails, the search engine in Slack is really great too, because you just type in the search, we've talked about this, I can't remember where that is in which channel, and it'll pop up every channel, everything that word is in, and you can find it.
Yeah. So there's some Slack etiquette. Again, that's part of the learning curve, and that's like, if you're in the baking channel and I'm like calling you out on how to do the sourdough, Amanda doesn't just chime in with a new, they call them threads in the baking channel. I know how to fix the sourdough. sourdough. It's like you thread. So that just keeps it manageable. So like the thread is like you respond to that post. And so like, and my people, when I use Slack, they're all like, hey, this could have been a thread. This could have been a thread, you know, like, but it's just so easy and it's, you know, whatever. So
Yeah, you can get it on your cell phone.
yep.
It's great on a desktop, but either way it works.
That's
nice.
And it's free for nonprofit. Well, I know it's free for nonprofits, but like, I don't think you can, I don't think we even have to pay. Like if I started a Slack.
I'll look into it.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm almost positive you don't have to pay, but I could be wrong about that.
So it sounds kind of like the two major, like, I don't know, pressure points, or whatever, is finding time for all of us to connect with Jesus and how to, you know, with like the Wednesdays kind of phasing out. How do we as a group of people be able to strengthen our relationship with Jesus, but then also community with each other, friends for our kids, you know,
And homeschooling.
and homeschooling, just like together, just having a community of people. So it's like, sounds like those are the two main like points that we're trying to kind of figure out.
Sounds like we could create a mission statement around something like that. Just that's important, that how you sum that up. I love that. Connect with Jesus more in an environment of community with one another, and with a common goal of homeschooling and connecting your children too. Okay, so next up. Yep.
Can I pop in? I was thinking about it, and there's one more thing that's like a pain point and also a passion. And I don't know, it's like specific to me because it's my journey, but it also might go wider than this group. So you just tell me if I'm out of the scope. But one thing that I'm really passionate about, and that I've encountered with a lot of homeschool moms and families with which I, you know, engage, is that a lot of them are homeschooling because their kids aren't, I don't know what, like that they struggle, right? Whether it's autism or ADHD or sensory issues or, you know, just learning whatever it is, that they just don't fit inside that neat and tidy, put a bow on it box of public education. And so I think for me, that's been a pain point for me, which is why we're not in public education, but it's a passion of mine of also like finding that community where, it's supportive of like, and I think that's what's so great about homeschool is it's supportive of people who learn differently or who are really like skilled over here, but need support here or vice versa. And so I think, and I don't know if that resonates with any of the other, you know, representation at the table, but that's something I think kind of tangentially relates to a conversation like this.
Yeah, we certainly have a lot more people that could be involved in this conversation that aren't. And so I think that this is just the start, and we'll get an email thread going, at least of the people that are around this table and the ones that are on that list. Now I'm thinking, I wonder if the ones that didn't respond on that list are people who aren't actually homeschool moms. I kind of found out later, well, I found out that day, the Mother's Day drawing, you had to mark a box. If you didn't, you couldn't submit the drawing. Like, that's a problem. What if somebody's marking something because they're not actually, they just want to get past it?
Yeah.
We need to create a clean list of people in our church that are actually homeschooling. And how do we do that? Do you guys have any ideas?
Well, I feel like 2 or 3 gals that aren't here that aren't on that list that are also homeschooling here.
Yeah, I know one
Okay.
too.
Yeah.
So,
From
yeah.
my
So
Wednesday
there's-
group,
Okay.
I know that she homeschools her older too.
So do we need to just create what would be better, a Google Drive document or a Word or Excel shared document? Is Excel better or Drive better?
Drives a Google Sheet.
Google Sheet.
Everyone, if you have Gmail, you can access it.
Okay,
Even
Google
if you
Sheet.
don't have Gmail, you can access it.
Okay, I'll create a Google Sheet of those, the names that are around this table and those that on Facebook said they were interested in the Zoom, because I'm assuming they're a homeschool mom. And they weren't on the call today necessarily, but that will give us a start. And then you guys add your names of people you know. And then the next thing would be an email to all of you guys and the people on that list. So you're going to need to compile their email and phone number on that list as well, so that I can then email them the Slack channel information. And then I'm going to give it off to you guys for communication after that. But that'll be my support on my back end to start. And then you'll then just kind of start the process of your next meeting, I would imagine, in-person meeting, to start brainstorming what you want to bring forth to me as far as next steps in your ministry walk, and you're getting, connected with Jesus and community. What does that look like for you guys? How can we come support you as a church? And if it is Wednesday morning Bible study, let's say Danica wants to serve still in that role. Kimberly wants to, Megan wants to come back and serve in that role. How do we do that on site? So think big, because I need to present this soon to people.
Right, that's what I was gonna ask. If we have some sort of Wednesday proposal,
Mhm.
when does that is that July 2nd, or when does that need to go to you by our ideas or brainstorming to you?
Yeah, I would say meet on that, but and get to me right after 4th of July.
Okay,
Yeah, because I need to let Tyler know, and they need
Okay.
to start planning for that. But thank
So the drop dead date that you need to know something is, can we just
Yeah.
say what, then we'll work backwards from her drop
Mhm.
Yeah.
dead date?
July
So
4th. after
July
that,
4th is
yeah.
your drop dead?
so
Mhm.
maybe July
So we need to
1st.
meet.
So July 5th, maybe that Tuesday? July 5th?
Tuesday is when I work, so that's a good point. I work on Tuesdays and Wednesdays at the church. So if I'm gonna like do meetings with anybody here, like Tyler, I could meet with him on that 5th. I could schedule a meeting with him
Great.
with all your ideas by then. So I need to have it by the 5th.
All the ideas.
All the
proposals by the
So
By
we
the
need
fifth.
at least one meeting from now until July 4th.
Yeah.
Me too, I'm
Yeah.
gonna advocate.
Yeah.
And they can be joyful meetings,
Yeah.
joyfully
Yeah.
productive
Get
meetings.
kids together.
Yeah, yeah, kids together or whatever. Um,
So really the only like working day in July is July 1st to get it through, because I'm assuming most people are probably going to be gone or occupied for the holidays. So that leaves really the week of the 20th through the 24th, or the week of the 27th through the 30th. But I'm wondering if we don't want to maybe do like the week of the 20th, and then that way if there's to-dos or follow-ups, that there's a week of time to do it before we have to get it to Jolene.
Do any days of the week in particular work? Well, I guess I should say this, because some people mentioned the Wednesdays, not everybody did, but it sounds like that one is the most time sensitive, perhaps, is figuring out what Wednesday could potentially look like. So does everyone want to sort of brainstorm and be part of like a meeting for Wednesdays? Or who wants to be part of maybe voicing opinions or ideas on that? And maybe we can just make sure those people that are really passionate about Wednesdays are there for that brainstorming session.
Also, I want to throw out there that I'm thinking the clubhouse could be a great place for the kids to meet. And because we only have one group meeting in the clubhouse right now, but it's such a big room that we could potentially have you guys using that space. And so
And the
just so
kids
you
can
know,
be
as you're
here.
meeting,
Yeah,
that I have that thought in my head as your space.
the clubhouse being the big room down here.
Yeah.
Okay, so we could say we're going to have our first meeting scheduled, we can use the clubhouse. Is that
No,
what I'm
I
hearing you
mean,
say?
and
On
For
Wednesdays.
Wednesdays.
for
for
Wednesdays for the
Wednesdays.
kids,
Okay.
yeah.
When is the indoor playground supposed to be done?
Not, well, in the fall, but not probably till like closer. I would just say, you know, how things are with
Yeah, yeah,
construction. I would say Thanksgiving.
Okay.
Yeah,
And that's
Yeah.
something that they're planning on having open to the community
Yes.
too, right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yep. We have to.
Jillian,
Yep.
what room is the clubhouse? I haven't I've taken the boys to their classroom, but I have not explored the new
Mhm.
so what room, when you refer to the clubhouse, is that the playground that's going to be built?
No, it's that big auditorium. Well, it's like the kids, Kidmin area.
Oh, okay, okay.
With the big screen, and
Mhm.
it has audio visual and everything. So if you guys think about, hey, we do want our kids to learn curriculum during the time that we're serving in ministry on Wednesday morning, or we're just there to be a participant. Could your kids be involved in some sort of curriculum? Do we need to hire a teacher? Do we need to sub out each other doing this? What does that look like, and how can I bring that forward?
So I'm hearing you say think big,
Mhm.
dream big,
Yeah.
and then
Mhm.
we'll go. So how do we want them to your point about Wednesdays maybe being the major topic initially?
just it's time sensitive.
Yes, it is time sensitive. Do we want to schedule a meeting then?
I think that would be smart to schedule,
So
to
to
schedule
Megan's
something.
point, pretty much next week we should schedule a meeting.
Mhm.
Does someone want to send out a doodly?
And I can get you guys this conference room if you need me to.
Great.
So just tell me when, if it's next week, is it next Sunday? Or Megan, are you back in town?
It's Father's
Is
Oh,
that
it is.
Sunday the 19th?
Never mind, that's Father's Day.
So we
Oh, yeah,
have
just kidding.
two.
Does it work better, you guys, to meet like during the morning, or like an earlier thing, or like midday, or does it work to do like an evening?
We're talking about that right now. We are hearing you. We're debating park during the day or evening.
Park during the day works great. Yeah.
Sorry.
Do we have working moms?
Well, she's a working mom, I'm a working mom, but I don't know any other homeschoolers yet,
Right.
moms that are also working. Okay. I know they exist.
Yeah.
You're a working mom. I mean, you have a business, so.
Mhm.
I'm a working homeschool mom.
Does take time.
So Ashley, you said you're a working homeschool mom too?
Yes. So, and I work, and I don't need, this is important to me enough that I will figure something out. My husband works from home, so my husband can always take lead if it's like a Wednesday thing, but Wednesdays are typically a work day for me, and I'm in dentistry, so I do early. But anyways, just to give you guys a heads up, I will work around what I have to because this is important to me.
Day of the week work. If it's
I think we
better
should
or
send
worse.
out is it a doodle that you guys
Yes,
use?
I did a doodle, but.
Okay, I
Okay.
think we should probably send out a doodle and like.
I thought it was
A
like.
beautiful, yeah.
Cannot- Yeah, like with the morning, afternoon, evening time.
Okay.
Okay, that's what I think.
Yeah.
And then if you absolutely cannot make it, then put you cannot, but if you can flex maybe, try to, if you
Okay.
want to attend.
Yeah.
Perfect.
My schedule this week, the only day I absolutely can't do anything is Tuesday.
Cool, so
I
we'll,
mean,
I think we should send out a doodle so that we can
Yeah.
see which one.
because otherwise anything else is totally fine.
Uh,
So that means I need to get this list together today.
Yes,
Okay.
so we can send out a doodle.
Okay.
Yeah,
Perfect.
who is going to send out the doodle?
Unless we
I-
can just determine a time right now.
Well, what if? I mean, we could.
I think you should.
Send
let's
it
just
time
I
determine
mean,
the
everybody's
time.
got their phone out looking at their calendar.
Yeah.
so
Yeah, okay.
Just determine the time and
Thursday
then,
afternoon on the 23rd.
We'll doodle right now.
Sure. I could do it. That's fine with me.
Thursday afternoon, 23rd. All right, what time specifically and place? Is it like a 1 to 3, or is that afternoon, or is that?
Yeah, that's fine with me.
Megan, are you, and Ashley? These times work Thursday afternoon,
I'm sorry, I'm here. What was the question?
Thursday afternoon potentially?
Yeah. And
I'm good after 1 o'clock
Okay.
on Thursday.
I'm usually off between 3 or 4. And again, I can figure it out, make it work, or send my husband at least for that time frame. Because he homeschools when I'm not there.
Okay.
I don't know about you guys as moms. Is that too early? Is that okay for nap times for you guys?
It's just moms, you said, I'm sorry.
Like, they're preteens, teenagers.
I wish we had nap time still.
You're
Yeah.
at church, is the church like everybody?
Yeah, that's fine.
Easy.
Bathrooms are open, right? So if we have to use the bathroom.
Yep, okay, so
Friendly, safe
Thursday,
people.
the 23rd.
Okay.
1 to 3 at church.
Thursday, the 23rd, 1 to 3. At the,
Okay.
We are bringing children then.
Mine will be here.
Okay.
you don't have to, obviously,
Yeah.
but you know, if you want
You don't
to.
have to, mine will be here.
I like doing it at the church because our weather is like never going to be summer. And so we can move inside if we needed.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's okay, right?
Well, if all the kiddos are here, I would have to reserve,
Light or whatever.
maybe I'll just reserve the clubhouse for you guys that day, just in case you have to move
In case
inside.
it's raining.
Yeah. Okay.
But
Okay.
otherwise, it's, yeah, out here they can be loud and it's not so cacophonous.
Yeah.
I will probably have my pop-up tent on the card, so. I
Oh,
can do
great.
that.
We can put the shade ton up.
We brought, we had to do it the Wednesday every other week with the moms of there.
Do you guys know about that?
Bring our chairs.
Every other Wednesday, so this Wednesday is one of them, from 9:30.
Same time as Wednesday Bible study.
Okay, 9:30 to 11-ish.
Whenever we.
The moms are getting together to Bible study and we're doing an app, so.
Oh, nice.
I'm doing the Ephesians study.
Yeah, so if you want more information about that, yep.
Awesome.
And we have pretty much childcare kind of. So we're figuring it out.
We lock them in the gate.
We kind of lock them in there and hide. There are some older children out there, but anyway, it's an attempt to not let summer be a land of barrenness, you know?
Yeah.
So this Wednesday.
Wednesday, the 23rd.
Well, homeschool meeting will be the 23rd.
Oh,
and
okay.
You were just mentioning that on every other Wednesday, the moms are getting together for Bible study
Oh, okay.
here at church. So you should come this Wednesday if you're back or if you're inclined, any of you guys. Yeah, so.
And that's 9:30 at the
Okay.
church. Yeah, every other Wednesday, this one being the next one.
Yes.
Well, we're
And then bringing
here
you
till
all.
next Saturday. So we're here till a week from yesterday. So
Ah, fun.
Yeah. super fun.
Well, go get back in that pool.
Yeah.
And Ashley, you get to Silverwood and have fun.
Yeah, it's so humid. So I'm like, I have to go back in the pool.
All right, guys. Well, we'll sign off here.
Thanks, guys.
See you later. Bye, Ashley. Thanks for joining as well.
That's what we were gonna go. You can still